I wanted you guys to meet Giovanni Brignoni. Many of you probably already know who he is, but this man typifies the first responder who made a difference um, right in the middle of the disaster, right? He's a pilot for
Police department, Fura.
Fura, which is essentially the state police, if you will. And when Maria happened, he was actually landing on rooftops to help rescue people, and he's got some videos. But first of all, it's a pleasure for me to meet you, and just so you all know, I first met him. I was flying around with the governor. We had gone to Ponce. There was a job fair that FEMA was hosting, and I walked up to him, and he said hello, and I have to be honest with you, I didn't know who he was because we had been doing so much reporting that I was so busy I didn't have time to look on Facebook, but also we really didn't have a communication to the outside world beyond what we were reporting, so I didn't know who he was. And a member of our security detail happens to work with him, and anyway, it's great to see you again, and
Pleasure.
you've done an incredible job. Do you feel like a hero?
No,
You don't.
no. I think I was doing my job, and besides my job, start sending some pictures so people could, in certain way, can identify a house, a family member, because there was no communications. Actually, we were after the hurricane came out the second day. We were the three first helicopter, the police, state police. We were the only helicopters in the air. So when we left off, we had a call that a town near our base, their lake went out, and there was supposed to be people on the roofs, and we went to that area, Levittown area.
Well, it was Levittown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't saw nobody. And actually, I was a little bit worried because my mother-in-law was living there, and actually, the water went like 5 feet in her house. She lost everything. And then we moved out to the next town, and then when we saw there was a lot of people on the roofs, and we started our team in the Puerto Rico State Police start saving people, start landing on the roofs, and we for 4 hours and a half we took like 68 people. And
So you were the pilot. You were the one landing the helicopter on the roof.
yeah, with all my team, we were 3 helicopters.
Yeah.
We landing.
So, but why? What made you stand out?
It's because when we were flying, I was so impressed because I never saw the water rise that high, and taking all the houses, and I start taking pictures just for me.
Yeah.
And when we landed, I had internet, so I uploaded, and for any reason that I never thought about that. There were no media on that day, no helicopters, no video, no television, no nothing. And there's a lot of people in the States trying to look for something, and that my own page just fills out in just one day. People found like an oasis. Oh, first picture of Puerto Rico. So what is going on? And then when I saw the Sea Stallion helicopter coming to near our base, landing in our airport, I just made my first in my life first Facebook Live. I was saying, "Oh, this is the United States. They're coming to help us. Yes, 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 yes." And then I start talking what I saw that day with all the rescue that we did, and I start crying because I got a little bit started remembering all those images, and having seen my father also. He was on the east side, and everything started since that day, and it came like worldwide viral. Everything I done, and I say, okay, every time that I fly, and I told people every time that I fly and I landed, I will talk and we'll try to explain what is going on, what happened to each town that I was landing, and start taking picture and asking people, somebody knows here, have family on the States, give me your name, can I take a picture of you, so I can start sending. I love that people can identify a family member or a house. Like I have a picture that lady sent me back saying, thank you to that picture, I found the car of my daughter.
Show everybody that picture
She's,
that you were telling me about.
Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, this is the one. It says, "Thank you very much, Giovanni, for your excellent job. This is the house of my daughter." I don't have the whole picture, so she's putting the arrow pointing the car because she was worried about this river, and their news that were going out. In her mind, this lady thought that all the water was they cover or the daughter house, and when she saw this picture and the car outside, she just wrote me back, "Thank you for those pictures." And I said, "Oh my God, I think I'm gonna have to start doing this." And every time we left the helicopter, going to different places, just started taking pictures of houses, cars, people, and
Can you go back to the beginning? Show me the highlights of the 20 videos you have that sort of stand out in your mind the most as being memorable to you. I know there are so many.
actually that first day is the police department. We were the only rescues that actually we did. Is something that sometimes I had to get out of the helicopter because people they could not reach the roof.
So you've landed on the roof of a home.
Yeah, we were always two pilots.
Okay.
And one stayed on the helicopter, and because some people they were like kind of heavy, we have to lift them to the rooftop to place them on the helicopter. And
So they have a ladder where they're.
yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes the ladder was too high,
Right.
so we have to try to take the picture, and all the adrenaline rush, and you see people from the different roofs screaming, "Please don't leave me here. Please come back. Don't go away." And it was like kind of crazy because there are some bands still on the area of the hurricane.
Some of the rain bands still moving
Yeah,
through.
yes, and it was something that I always remember. Is this moment that is a baby and
Still makes you emotional. Where
we were,
was that?
we were at this house, and she had to what I remember, I have the video of that. This guy told me, "Can you take my wife out? She just had a baby and her daughter." I say, "Okay, let's do it." Cheira Alias, she was our tactical observer, and she said they cannot. I need help to take them to the roof. I say, "Okay." I got out from the helicopter, and we took the mother out, the baby, her daughter, and I remember her husband saying, I told him, "Is there something else, somebody else?" And he told me, "There's one more, but please be careful." I say, "Okay." When he came out, it was I think 1 month of baby in her, I don't know how to call it.
Like a car seat.
Yeah, and he couldn't reach me. It was like standing in a small ladder, and the ladder was moving, and you see the water near him. I was going like it was raining also. I was trying to reach that baby and say, praying that I hope nothing happens. I hope I don't drop this baby. And actually, I don't know if it was her. There was a television channel that interviewed me, and the reporter, somebody gave him a paper with a name on it, and it said, Giovanni, do you know this lady? And I said, no. Don't remember this lady? I said, I don't remember. I don't know who is she, but right now she's watching you through these cameras, through her television, because what she never saw your face. What she remembers is your name tag. It says Giovanni Brignoni. She's watching you for the first time, and she wants to thank you because you're the one who grabbed her hands and lifted up and take him away from that flood that day. and things like that. And it's been crazy, and it's been a hard month trying to
Have you had a day off?
in the first, I don't know, first 2 weeks, no.
He showed up
we
he showed up in his uniform. You worked today, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're working 12-hour shift since the first day.
Show us some more of the videos that you were sifting through and showing me. Remember that one of the lady that you were the elderly lady that you were helping
Yeah.
on the roof? He has so many that are saved on his phone, as you can imagine. You know, people have described him as a lifeline in the sense that you had folks on the mainland who were tuning into what he was posting online. Where is this?
In the same place in Trabaja, because after that day, everything started to send first response, send water and food, but people trapped was that next day that happens.
So he was posting video like this, and people were able to see exactly what the damage assessment was immediately in those areas. I mean, obviously he was there as a first responder, not necessarily a journalist, but he was kind of doing both, you know?
Also, this is another picture that I found
Where was that?
in Utuado.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we were taking a rescue guy to take out the body that was like 6 days dead already, and there were people trapped. There were like 6 houses, and with that body, so I was taking a rescue guy to take that body out, and when I saw this, and I couldn't sleep that day, because when I saw it, I told my partner, "Hey, did you saw that?" Say yes, but the thing is that we were low on fuel, and because we don't have a radar, and but afternoon 3-4 o'clock, all the clouds and the rain start coming to come to the mountains, so we can't stay there. We have to leave. So I was like, oh, probably people inside that house. They did that. They need help. And he told me we cannot do that right now. So I couldn't sleep that night. The next day, I said we were flying to this with the Secretary of Government, and he's done a great job with us. And I told him we need to go to this house, and he told me as soon as we drop everything, water and food, let's go. And he got impressed also with the picture. So we went there, we landed, and when we landed, this lady, I have her picture, she came out crying, and she said, I saw the helicopter yesterday. I moved my arms, but you guys couldn't see me. So, and right away, the Secretary of Government lived in that town, in Utuado. So when she came to her house, her husband started writing a letter for the Secretary of Government. And I told him, I don't have to take that letter, because it's here with the helicopter. It's here. You can take it to yourself. And it was a great moment for me, for the lady, and for him. He started crying. They hug each other, and he said he wrote a letter for me. So moments like this.
How many people do you think you rescued?
Not that day.
Just in total, overall.
No, well, not myself. The team, the 3 helicopters, we saved like 68 people that day in Toa Baja. But after the next day, actually, they were no actually rescue missions. They were sending scouting to see what was going on around different towns, and obviously double check, and these, especially in Utuado, and sending some food and water, start moving things. And then I'm waiting for the armed forces to start coming and help us to give us help, because in the first week was like crazy, wild crazy.
Any other photos that you have or videos that you want us to see?
I have so many.
Wow, where was that?
All this is where in Toa Baja. I have also landing spot that we have to land this, I had a picture that the team from Ponce landing in places like it was for me an incredible picture.
Wow, look at that. That is not ideally where you would want to put a helicopter down, right?
No, actually, they were telling me that when they land is the only place that they could land, and they say I'll take the water out, so because he couldn't know how was the terrain underneath.
So where was that?
In Utuado.
Wow, wow,
And,
wow.
Yeah, it's been.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Sometimes I have my moments. It was hard in the first 2 weeks because you work in 12, 13 hours and I live in the 11th floor. Have to go to the stairs and try to sleep with no fan, no nothing, and try to like have a bath with a couple of bottles of water and try to get a rest because it's stressful flying in the mountains, seeing so many images, and trying to, when you lay down because you're tired, you start dreaming and seeing some images and people and yourself saying, I cannot sleep, I have to go back. I hope the sun rises. We need to help the people out, and
Do you have water and power at home?
yeah, I came like 2 weeks ago. Thanks. It's been hard, but in the beginning we were washing our clothes in our base. That we lost also our base, and somebody brought a washer machine, and we had a plan. We still have a plan in our base, so we have. I don't think I have the pictures. We were washing all our fly suits in our base to keep doing our job and keep working. And it's been great, and
You have the admiration of a lot of people,
my wife, she's a champion.
and your wife. Behind every good man is a good woman.
Yeah. But
It's a pleasure to visit with you again, and thank you for allowing me to share some of the heroic behavior that you have exhibited. I mean, we throw around that term hero, you hear it oftentimes, but this guy and people like him are the real heroes behind the storm, and it's a pleasure for me to be able to tell people what you did. So
no, thank you for the interview, and I just want to thank the air unit of the police department. They have done a awesome and incredible job. It's been a new experience for every pilot.
sure.
I've been flying for 13 years in the air unit, but for everybody there, I think for the new pilots, the new generation is our first experience of this kind,
Yeah.
and it's been good, and I have my moments. My wife is always worried about it. Why are you crying alone or in your room? And yes, like I think everybody else, not me.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah,
It's a lot to process.
You think it's everything is said, but it took me a while to I felt bad those first week eating rice or beans or still sometimes, because in the beginning I know we were leaving to the people just a small can of sausage and I had rice in my home, and it was hard in the beginning to eat the good food. I say I don't deserve this, I don't need this. We have to send this food of play to the people out there.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for everything you've done.